Satanism. To most, it conjures images of medieval black masses or sinister deeds done for the devil. But simply said, Satanism is the belief that evil is excusable and attaining power to control people and circumstances is desirable. Whether you believe in a literal devil is not important in understanding Satanism's effect on our society. The evidence is in. Satan worship and satanic cults are growing rapidly, and adherents of these ideas are becoming more vocal and more dangerous. These symbols of Satanism are turning up everywhere, on walls, on clothes, on album covers, and even on bodies of murder victims. Law enforcement officials admit that satanic cults operate in nearly every community in America. Young children from Oregon to Massachusetts say they've been raped, tortured, and forced to watch small animals killed during satanic ceremonies. School officials in many cities report high school students are forming satanic groups. A Chicago policeman told us, satanic crime makes gang activity look like a nursery school. During this program, you will see the many sides of Satanism. You'll be shocked, and you may be tempted to turn away in denial of such unspeakable horror. If you think I'm exaggerating, watch closely. Listen to what is being done in the name of Satan.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
A sneak peek at Pokemon.
Pokemon, the journey's just begun. Pokemon, more the better. Pokemon, Team Rocket's on the run. Pokemon, we're friends forever. You've got the power right in your hand. They'll evolve before your eyes. A world of magic at your command.
They would give themselves freely for this.
You can be a master if you try. Pokemon.
Well, it all starts with the TV show September 7th. My nephew, Ash, he just turned 10, is the show's star.
Of all the crimes committed in the name of Satan, the most heartbreaking involve children. For young victims of Satanism, the joy of childhood gives way to pain, darkness, and fear. Sometimes that pain comes from strangers, sometimes from their own families. We've talked with a number of adults who tell stories of being raised in families where satanic rituals were part of everyday life.
His dream is to become a Pokemon master. This is no easy task. First of all, Ash has to capture all of these little Pokemon things.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction to evil. We all understand. Let's take it to the practical. For the public schools, teachers and counselors that are watching, they understand addiction.
Gotta catch 'em all.
They understand how an addiction will move from marijuana to cocaine.
Gotta catch 'em all.
These people are in every strata of society. We're talking doctors, we're talking lawyers, we're talking a lot of Christian ministers who preach a sermon perhaps on Sunday morning and are involved in satanic rituals the night before. We're talking elders and Sunday school superintendents. I'm mentioning the cases that I am aware of. And as you've studied this yourself and read the literature, you know that people at every level and every profession, successful business people, psychologists, doctors, law enforcement people, are involved in this kind of thing. It's unnerving.
We've had notes written about Satan on walls in schools. You know, that my God's better than your God and all this. We had one note, you're welcome to a bloodbath ritual. Be there at 11:54 for the gatekeeper of hell to appear. Bring your set clothes or black sheets. This is what's going on in basically the schools.
In the past, satanic cults have maintained their membership by raising their own children within the cult. Now experts see an alarming new trend. Survivors say that satanic groups are establishing preschools and daycare centers for the sole purpose of recruiting vast numbers of small children.
We are hearing from those survivors that there is a deliberate and concerted and well-organized, well-orchestrated effort to infiltrate the preschool system.
A Pokemon that's weaker but better trained can still win. It depends on the trainer. I hope you're learning something from this, Joe. A Pokemon's level of training is just as important a factor as a Pokemon's type in deciding a match.
The purpose is to achieve an indoctrination at an early formative age when a child is going to be most susceptible to being emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually hooked to the cult and hooked for life. The idea is that you get the child under the age of 6, you abuse them, you indoctrinate them, you use them for cult purposes, you break them down, you strip them of any sense of free will, you strip them of any sense of connectedness to family or to the positive parts of society, and you have somebody who functions for the purposes of the cult.
The darkness of Satanism is spreading rapidly today, especially among young people. We see the graffiti symbols everywhere, the evil influences bearing down on teenagers, in the music, and in their lifestyles. The dimensions of this phenomenon have become alarming.
In this metroplex, it's my estimate that there's approximately 40,000 practicing Satanists in the metroplex. That does not include pagan organizations, Druids, Wiccans, which are of the right-hand path of witchcraft, not the left-hand path. Dabbling in the occult and its various aspects in this metroplex would have to be over 100,000 individuals. Now that's a conservative estimate.
The strategy.
Baby killings, ritualistic rape, cannibalism. It seems like the stuff of supermarket tabloids or trash TV. We could dismiss all of this easily, except for so many similar stories told by so many survivors. The reality of Satanism is even more believable when you talk to reputable therapists like those here at Columbine Hospital in Denver, Colorado. They believe the survivors are telling the truth.
To become a great trainer, Ash has to capture all of these amazing Pokemon creatures. And there's a lot he's got to know in order to catch them all.
Gotta catch them all! I guess the thing that's most compelling to me as a clinician is to hear reports from a variety of patients who do not have contact with each other, who report very similar stories, and stories which are shocking and alarming about murder and sacrifice of human beings, cannibalism, sexual promiscuity, in what appears to be a very ritualized, planned setting, using not only children, both boys and girls, but adults as well.
She can violate my rights if...
It's very secretive. As far as the kids go, you know, they don't know anything, they haven't done anything.
Wait, there's more!
Self-styled Satanists are volatile and frightening. But what of those who join organized cults and become what is called traditional Satanists? Teenagers recruited into these cults are told of the thrills and untapped power they can achieve through Satan, and they are promised drugs and sex. But do they know what really awaits them in the end?
What we're dealing with at this point, in my belief anyway, is a well-organized religious and cult-based group that is widespread.
Everything is proceeding exactly as I have foreseen. The Pokemon craze is sweeping the world. I want the three of you to catch me the rarest of all Pokemon, Ash Ketchum's Pikachu.
We've been trying.
Oh, then try harder. And you better steal Pikachu away from them soon, because the TV show's about to launch, and the Game Boy game, and the toys, the card game, comic books. Soon the whole world will be looking for Pikachu. Does anyone else know of our plans?
Only a bunch of kids who were lucky enough to get their hands on this video.
Well, if they don't play the Game Boy game or watch the TV show, they'll never catch Pikachu.
There are several purposes to this kind of control. One, it permits the rituals to go on with the complete cooperation of the individual who is being sacrificed in whatever way, whether it's being killed or burned or...
I'm partial to the fire element monsters.
Used for the ritual purposes.
Pika who?
Crimes committed in the name of Satan are beginning to receive special attention by police officials. Several departments have established occult crime units and are learning to spot the evidence of satanic activity. A number of investigators are working to uncover the links between survivor stories and existing cults. Others are looking into the possibility of a national or international conspiracy involving satanic groups. There's much to be learned, and law enforcement officials are just beginning to scratch the surface. But across the country, police investigators agree a disturbing trend is emerging. The most vicious crimes being committed in the name of Satan are being perpetrated by young people in their teens.
It's on you, Trey. Prepare to lose, Troy.
And that's not all.
During this program, we've heard from many victims of Satanism about tragic, alarming, and nearly fatal encounters with devil worship. We've listened to those who participated willingly and those who were victimized against their wills. We've heard reports of innocent children raised in a brutal environment of torture, and teenagers who were compelled to commit crimes and to kill in the name of Satan. All these accounts could make us question our fundamental faith in the decency and goodwill of humanity. But what we've seen should compel us to act responsibly and address the root causes of this terrible malevolence in our midst. Satanism thrives on secrecy. Its existence depends on concealment. That's why the bravery of the people you've listened to during this program is so phenomenal. They've spoken out, even under the threat of intimidation and death. Their courage comes from knowing that breaking the silence will save others from the anguish they endured or committed. Think about the remarkable consistency in all these stories and the blunt honesty of those who have suffered so much. See beyond the atrocity of Satanism. And remember that many victims are still imprisoned by the fear that no one will help them, that no one will believe them. The seduction of Satanism will end when you and I confront this national tragedy by marshaling the forces of our schools, churches, community organizations, law enforcement associations, and social agencies. We must expose all the evil being done in the name of Satan.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Remember, you gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.
So what exactly is a Pokemon? Cute, cuddly characters who become supercharged so they can fight their enemies.
It's a Japanese term short for pocket monster.
Pokemon are incredible creatures that share the world with humans.
Pokemon, 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 Pokemon,
Just look inside. Pokemon, and you will find the Pokemon. The Pokemon. The Pokemon.
Toys R Us, your Pokemon headquarters!
Who's the redhead?
I'm Bob Larson.